from the studios of Adaba 8.9 FM. Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of The Roundtable. My name is Dimeji and today on the program we will be looking at the restriction the Ondo State government placed on the operation of Okada Riders, that is commercial motorcyclists in Ondo State. As you will recall that last Friday the government put out a statement signed by the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Doyin Odebowale, that henceforth in Ondo State, Okada Riders should now operate between 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening. That is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Ever since then, a lot of issues have been coming out from that particular statement, that particular directive. The press statement was not just about Okada Riders. Government also said anyone in Ondo State who drives a vehicle with tinted glasses must have a duly certified permit from the relevant security agencies. So these are the issues we'll be talking about on the program this afternoon. And I'm being joined by the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State on special duties, Dr. Doyin Odebowale. You're welcome on the program, sir.
I thank you so much for having me.
So on Friday, government put out a statement, and in that statement, the governor said that there was some intel at the disposal of the government, yes, that made the government take that decision to restrict the activities of the operation of Okada Riders and then those who drive tinted vehicles. Yes. How does that intel, that particular intel that was referred to in that statement, how does it relate to the operation of Okada Riders in Ondo State?
I thank you. Most of the reports we received concerning robberies, rape, and regrettable acts of criminality, all of them were linked to gunmen who were on Okada. We received reports from Shagari, from Oda, from Gaga, then there was from this place Obaile, like that. So it was becoming a daily, not only a daily, it was as if everybody now believes that we are slipping gradually into the obsession state of nature. Criminals now have they move freely, they ride on Okada. Then of course banks are scared to even operate fully. You find people not wanting to move near ATM machines again and stuff like that. So all of this informed why the governor decided to act. And of course it's going to be for a while. It's just to stem the tide.
It's not a forever thing. It's going to last for a while.
No. It has never been. You recall that during COVID, we restricted movements, for the sake of the people. So it has become exigent that we do that now. And as we review the situation, of course, we advise the governor, and of course, the governor will take the best decision for the people at any given time.
Now, between Friday and now, has government carried out enough enlightenment to make all Okada Riders
aware of this? It's an ongoing thing. In fact, if you move to town now, you see our men. They move from park to park to let them know. And if they want to be fair to the government, they will tell you that there has been no decision taken by this government that they will tell you that they are not aware of.
So they were consulted.
They were told.
Why I'm asking you that, Dr. Odebowale, is because I know that at the moment in Ondo State they don't have a union. I know at some point the union was prescribed by the government.
No. The union was not prescribed.
Okay.
The then executive was suspended.
Okay.
You see how the structure. They are still the ones.
But there's no recognized chairman.
No, we have coordinators in each of the local governments. In Akure South now there is Kafar Oyelere, who is the coordinator for Akure South. We have them in all the 18 local governments. So tomorrow the police commissioner will be meeting them at officers' mess. Be meeting the coordinators and the operators themselves. So it's not as if they are not controlled. No, that's not true. That's not. It's just that those who took it upon themselves to be stealing government money, to be misbehaving, They'll be disturbing even the peace of the people of the state, were the ones who were asked to leave the state.
The coordinators, were they put in place by government or by the Okada Riders themselves?
No, by the government, of course. They were.
Well, from among the
Okada
Riders.
Precisely.
Okay.
Precisely, yeah. Among them, yeah.
So it is safe to say now that all of them were consulted and they are aware of the new directive.
In fact, when the governor spoke, we could not wait. That Friday we couldn't wait because the governor just said, "Oh, we should let it out immediately." The security people know how they do their things, and of course it was they who advised that we must do it immediately. Maybe I should be a bit free. We now know that because you don't have policemen on our roads again, you find the influx of men on Okada coming in the evening at around 3-4.
From other states?
From Ondo State.
Okay.
From Oniparaga, from Ondo State, like that. They come in and they rob. They come in, they perpetrate, acts of criminality, and they move back. So now we have been compelled to now move out Amotekun from the forest to now move into the city. It's like we are expanding the scope of Amotekun. Amotekun was established to complement the efforts of the police and other security agencies, but they are not, since they are not forthcoming now, so we have no choice other than to bring them out. So if you are coming from Ore, for instance, you meet Amotekun on the road. If you have, any major town now, you see them on the express, monitoring. You find them when you are coming into Ondo State from Ondo State now. You will find them. Of course, we don't believe in noise making in Ondo State. You won't find anybody with any uniform, brandishing weapons or whatever. But you find them now. But we know they are being distracted.
Now, you mentioned that the policemen, that is a fact, that we don't see them on the road as we used to, and that is a fallout of the NSAS protest. In Ondo State, is government doing anything to talk to the policemen, to find a way of getting them?
Yeah, I just told you now that the police commissioner will be meeting the Okada Riders tomorrow at 11 at the officers' mess. We talk to them. But let me say this clearly. We cannot continue to live in self-denial. We brought this thing upon ourselves.
Also,
when the NSAS and protest started, it was not against the police as an institution. It was a protest against what some people termed police brutality. And they identified certain nefarious activities of some bad elements within the Nigerian police. But a situation where you now criminalize, you demonize every policeman, you go after them, you kill them, you burn them, you eat them, and we don't seem horrified. Even the officers, the IG, permit me to say this, I'm not impressed with this IG.
Why do you say so?
Because you see that they are killing your people. You are talking for community policing. I'm not happy with him at all. You reduce human beings to mere statistics. We lost 25. We lost 22. We lost 100 AK-47. Is that it? An institution that you had, was that assailed? You have not resigned.
How do you think that should have been handled? Because some of these protesters, the NSAS protesters, are saying that hoodlums hijacked.
As a matter of fact, for the first 2-3 days, the real protesters had their say and the government listened to them. SARS was prescribed. They now say, every state should empanel a judicial commission of inquiry to look into the complaints of the people, genuine complaints of the people. Then these elements, these Yahoo people, now came in. You are journalists, move around town now, you see that the criminals have taken over. They celebrated the defeat of the Nigerian police. And you want the police to come and do what? If anything happens now, you want to go and report where? At the stations that have been burnt? You see these criminals moving straight into where police were keeping their exhibits. They went to destroy this exhibit. They went straight for the armory, broke the place, took away weapons. Then those who had cases with the police in the past went after those who prosecuted them, attacking them, who were jubilating. NSAS, then from there, they say Buhari must resign. And all of these people. Criminals sponsored this. And some politicians also had a hand in it. Look at what happened in Lagos. You wanted to end SARS. SARS ended. You moved to MPA. You bought BRT buses. You went to ShopRite. You went to TVC. You went to The Nation. You left out some. In Ondo State here, 3 days before they went to destroy Okitupa, we got this credible intelligence that they were going to do so. A day before they even went, we heard that they were meeting at Aika. On that morning when they were coming, we were told nobody did anything. You lost an election.
The governor had that intel. The governor had that intel.
All of us did.
And
the governor moved.
Did the governor contact security?
He did. He contacted everybody.
Why was nothing done?
Well, only they can explain. Only they can explain. I'm on here. Only they can explain why they allowed Okitupa to be burnt like that. And they say they don't know those who did it. They can't say so. They cannot say so. 72 hours before that thing happened, we told them. Baba Dojimo called SSC on security. He called, he told them. I also called him a day before. In the morning, I called again. He said he had called the area commander, he had called this, he had called that. The brigade commander was aware. What are we talking about? Look, before they got to the prison, they knew they were going there. But I said, okay, now since they are killing us, since then they say we are not good, hey, let us leave. Let us see how they are going to do it. You want to blame them? When you see video in 2020 of people killing the police, killing them, burning them, and cutting them and eating them, and say, hey, this one chop well. Ha! And you know, we are not horrified. The all we want is that the police should go back to do what? Protecting you.
Let's come back to the issue of the Okada, the restriction on the operation of Okada. Now, apart from Amotekun, you mentioned Amotekun. Which other agencies are enforcing this new directive?
Ordinarily, when the governor pronounces like that,
it should be all security agencies.
All of them should. Well, of course, we can.
But all of them working now.
We cannot. I cannot say because I don't work with them. I don't work with them. Of course, we are working. We are working. My office of the SSA on security. You know, we are trying to do what we can do. Then the commander of Amotekun, you know, they in fact they hardly sleep now. We are working. And we are ensuring that at least hoodlums are not given the impression that they can do anything with our people. But of course, you see, we are overwhelmed. There is no game denying the obvious, you know, because Amotekun is to complement. We are to move around and, you know, gather intel and pass it on to these security agencies for them to act on. But now we are left. So people are beginning to know that the police are not entirely useless. That these people you love to hate are not entirely useless. You see, we have to beg them. We have to appeal to them. We have wronged them. We should look into their welfare now. They buy their uniform. Now, those who have been killed now, you see, whatever entitlements that they are supposed to even get, their children will not get. Their wives, some people want to stay with their wives before they are even allowed to see the organ, which should process the paper and all of this. Civil servants will mess them up. Every one of us. Yeah, we should empathize. We should empathize with our fellow human beings. They are Nigerians too. They also have rights too. They have rights too. They cannot come here now to complain. But I do know that, you see, we treat them. Have you ever touched their uniform before? You ask them to stay under the sun. They stay there. Some idiots somewhere is waiting to collect money from them.
Don't let us use that word.
Sorry, you know. I'm pained.
You're talking about the police hierarchy?
Yes, I'm pained because I work with these people. I work with them. They buy their uniform. They are even denied promotion. If they don't know the so-called officers, some are giving us electoral promotions over those who are diligent. those who work. These are the people we should appeal to. We should beg them. We have wronged them. I'm not talking about those who will lead you to ATM, the criminals who stop you on the road and cite your phone. You know, this illiterates that from their way.
Don't let us use the word idiot anymore.
You see, the ones who work. Look at the period of COVID. Some of them for 2 weeks we didn't allow them go home. They didn't go home. They did not go home.
Okay, let's listen to the Okada Riders now and hear their own side of the story.
I always say I go plead our government because all this way they go on now, good. Although the reason why is it to say me everybody they work past 6 o'clock. But what I will say that 6 o'clock, some people who they say they learn work. Like me now, I get my own work. What they do sometimes every day come out like 6 o'clock. Say me I come also. Okay, I got to say me everybody want to go their house now 6 o'clock now. That's no good. The only thing we have to talk now. Say me the government just use mercy. I be waiting. I go talk. May just use mercy look us because all this thing now they affect us. May just put like 1 hour or 2 hours join that thing like 8:30 or 8. That one don't do okay. Anybody who then see past 8, may they arrest them. Anything they want use and do, may they use and do. But that 6 o'clock is too small. Okay, let's assume now say people who live for like in no area. Let me say Tyson no be enter their house. How they want to reach your house? Okay, like people they look like we live like okay this place roadblock for Yakari 1, Yakari 2. There's no they enter. Now only back they enter. Okay, we there for town. They will carry Tyson reach roadblock. From roadblock they carry about Okada reach their house. But now that one not there again now. Even though people when they don't get back they suffer because now like they waka. Like yesterday night now I see some people when they use their leg they waka they call me and don't carry anybody because I need to go my house because 6 to 6 is government. That's what I want to talk about, bros. But I will just please our government. We just add like 2 hours, join the team. I beg. Now beg we beg go. We no use anything, but I beg we beg government.
Oh, parala gidi. Torí àwa ṣe tá ń ṣe lọ́sàn. Ẹ̀rọ lẹ́gàn tá lè fi make ẹ̀gàn tọmọ wa ro oúnjẹ àti ìyàwó wa ńlé. Náà a fẹ́ block yẹ o. Torí àná la lè dìbò fún. Ọ bàbá wa níbẹ̀ dùbò àlóòótọ́ nǹkan tó yẹ káwọn ọlọ́pàá ṣe ni pé àwọn èèyàn abùnfiṣe ni pé kàn dúró sọ́nà ẹni tó bá ti mọ̀ tó bá lù sófin tó ń rìn kan tó ṣe kí lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ kàn mú kò sí pé kàn máa fi ìyà ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ èèyàn kàn máa fi jẹ gbà wá bí 100 kò dáa àfaramọ́ o sísè kò lè wọ́ọ̀kì mi fá personal àbá ẹni àpòtẹ́kù tó bá pàdé mi ní bí kan bí sísì tó bá ní mo ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ gbèyàn tó bá sọ pé orí òun ni á dí o. Adi àti ẹ̀pọ̀ sí gbòòrò gan adi ìkọ́ta kò fẹ́ sọ fún ọ̀gá ìjọba ni pé kàn jọ kàn ṣàánú wa kò sí ìkọ́ta lè bá jọba fà kó bó jẹ́ 6 to 9 ọ̀tọ̀ 9 o'clock ẹni tó bá ti wá lẹ́yìn 9 or 9 yẹn kàn take action because èèyàn mi wà tó yẹ pé irú àwa báyìí irú èmi báyìí personal ticket ni mò ń já ìjọba náà mò ń bá iṣẹ́ mò ń já ticket bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ò ń dárúkọ mi so kò dẹ̀ sí kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ máa jáde látàárọ̀ látàmàdàgbà 6 o'clock gan tí màá lọ deliver gan fún ìjọba gan pé tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì tí mo já ilé ìtọ́ kí n ṣe owó oúnjẹ tèmi náà ní iléyá màá lu àpò àsẹ́ǹtì mò ń lọ ilé ṣáà òkè báyìí èèyàn dẹ̀ níjàlè oyè yìí mẹ́rin tèmi lẹ gbọ́ bá ẹ̀ mọ tàwọn tẹ́ ti gbọ́ owó pọ̀ gan ó jura lọ eléyìí tèmi lè sọ ni mo sọ yìí.
sáà lótìtọ́ àti lódodo wọ́n rí sọ right because wọ́n ní ngbà tí tán ṣe EndSARS ngbà yẹn wọ́n nígbà tán ṣe EndSARS ngbà yẹn pó lè pọ̀ wọ́n ní àwọn ọlọ́kadà kẹ̀dẹ̀rì ló ń gbé àwọn ọmọ olè yẹn meanwhile kì í ṣe gbogbo àwọn ọlọ́kadà ló ń gbé àwọn ọmọ olè bí kò ṣe pé àwa ò rí àríṣẹ́ ṣe táìmù tó yẹ ká ríṣẹ́ ṣe òun ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ lélẹ́yìn lọ́sẹ̀ ń sọ fún wa ń sìn pé ká máa wọlé tó bá ní ká jáde ní 6 ó wà òkè ní 6 ìdájí ká máa jáde right tó bá kíjọba wa fún wa ní tó bá lè fún wa ní chance di nǹkan bíi 10 kó jẹ́ nǹkan bíi 6 to 10 a máa wà òkè gan everywhere máa wà òkè because everywhere wa gbogbo wa la kàwé gbogbo wa la lọ school kò síṣẹ́ kò sẹ́nìtìn báìkì tá a dẹ̀ ń gùn kẹ̀dẹ̀rẹ̀ installment ló pọ̀ jù nú ẹ̀ ṣé ọwọ́ àárọ̀ àtọ̀sán la máa fi wá owó ọ̀gá àtowó àwa náà ṣáà máa jẹun a dẹ̀ níyàwó alọ́mọ ńlé so ìdí nìyẹn mo máa bẹ àwọn ìjọba mo dẹ̀ máa rọ àwọn ìjọba wa kan jọ torí Ọlọ́run kan bá wa fi táìmù kún 6 yẹn.
ọ̀nà gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe lóòótọ́ dá o torí tí ò bá nídìí wọn lè sọ pé kí nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ 6 to 6 but nbà ní kan tó wá wò dáadáa tó máa wò dáadáa àwọn èèyàn tó ń kọ́ṣẹ́ tó dẹ̀ ní machine tó yẹ pé machine yẹn after iṣẹ́ táwọn ti close nírọ̀lẹ́ táwọn fi machine yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ òun náà fi jẹun òun náà fi ṣe lọ síbi iṣẹ́ láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ kejì but láì sí yẹn ìgbà tẹ́ ní 6 báyìí tẹ́lẹ̀ omi dẹ̀ close níbi iṣẹ́ ní 6 báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ rówó tó dẹ̀ ní machine kò sí ọ̀nà tó fẹ́ fi rówó òkè àwa náà dẹ̀rẹ̀ ìgbà míì látàárọ̀ dalẹ́ a lè má ti rówó ọ̀gá tó yẹ pé ìrọ̀lẹ́ yẹn gan tí tíṣà wà tẹ́ bíbọ̀dà fẹ́ close.
Okay, Dr. Doyin, you just listened to the Okada Riders, and they raised a lot of issues. One of them spoke in Pidgin, but some of them, the others spoke in Yoruba. And I think what they were trying to say was that the fact that some of them, they make more money in the evening. As from 6 p.m. Let me paint another scenario that I think has nothing to do with the Okada Riders, but with people who work beyond 6 p.m. Let's say, for instance, nurses will go to, some of them who are on night duty will go after 6 p.m. Not all of them are mobile. Some of them who are not mobile as well will want to leave the various hospitals or centers where they work after 6 p.m. and they are not mobile. And they live in areas where cabs do not ply. What is the effect of that, people? That means they will have to trek at night. And that definitely in itself constitute another security risk to them for having to trek that distance to their different homes.
You see, there is no time that you can have a perfect scenario, that they can have a perfect enforcement. You know, I'll give you an instance. During the time of COVID, when we're out at night enforcing the curfew, of course, people will tell you that, I mean, their only means of livelihood was coming out in the evening, selling food, or selling water, or doing this. But we had
and they were right. They were right.
Of course, they were okay. But we had an emergency. We did not want anybody to come from any. In fact, we went as far as taking people back to Ishua in the night. It was that bad. We felt it. All of us did. All of us. Even those of us in government. Anytime we were out, it will shock you to know that the governor will be monitoring. Be calling. Until we get back at 4 a.m. Go and find out. So, I mean, this is not a time when everybody wants to say it is. No, it is not normal. Is it normal that you don't have policemen working? Is it normal that you have people who are supposed to be protected by the police, turn against the police, burn their stations, kill them, arrest them?
A situation where, government is trying to solve a security problem.
Yes.
And then when you have people, just like as I described earlier, who now have to trek, a long distance to their home. And we're not creating another security problem.
For every general rule, you have an exception. I will not be out now. I'll meet a nurse. On Okada. A nurse, not somebody who pretends to be one. Somebody going to.
So essential workers are exempted.
Anytime, even during the war.
But if you are not mobile and there are no Okada riders to take them to...
The hospital management will have to make arrangements for them.
Has government put that in place? Has government spoken with the hospital management?
They should know. They have bosses. They collect subventions from the government. They don't... Look, people should learn to sacrifice. I sympathize with the genuine Okada riders, not those who have their own work, who want to hustle in the evening. They are part of the problem. They are part of the problem we want to solve.
The civil servant who do Okada?
Who do that? Yeah, because they are not captured. They are not registered.
Would you blame them?
No, I want to
blame them. Whose salaries?
Forget about that.
They are trying to.
No. Don't let us palliate the issue, please.
What you call a side also?
No. Don't let us palliate the issue. I'm not against.
I'm just looking at the economic conditions of the country.
No, I'm not against anybody making any extra coins. But I'm saying that If you are a civil servant, are you registered? Do we know you? Is your name with SITA?
As Okada Riders.
As Okada Riders.
What if they are registered?
If they are registered, then
those who are registered,
let them comply for that. But of course, from experience, most of those who operate at night are the ones who don't even collect the tickets from the government. They cheat on all fronts. They are the ones who don't. They are the ones who bring in smugglers. They are the ones who do all manner of things. They call it also. You will be arrested and nothing will happen. We will arrest you. For those of you who think you can do what you like, they are the ones. In fact, some of them, you see them. Their Okadas don't have registration numbers. Many of these people. But the ones who complain genuinely about working, the genuine Okada Riders, at normal times we allow them to come out at 4 a.m. during market days, and
and that's the stance now.
You know,
that's the stance now.
No.
Okay.
No. They have to come out at 6 a.m. now. As at normal times, but of course now we have an emergency. Until normalcy returns, we cannot continue to pretend and say, look, when armed robbers invaded Shagari, and they were moving from place to place on Okada, those who lived in that neighborhood, who were sending out distress calls, could not afford any luxury of saying, oh, maybe Okada should subsidize today, or they will be brought tomorrow. Look, what we have on our hands now is that the state is open, is porous. We have allowed criminals to come into our midst. They now go about, they celebrate, they jollificate, they celebrate the fact that they have defeated the police. What we can do is to ensure that those who want to sleep, those who want to leave their offices, those who want to leave markets and go home, we should allow them to sleep peacefully. And because we are not many, we want to be able to expand the scope of operation so that we can cover as many areas as possible. And how do we do it? We cannot do it asking you to operate in 10, 11, 12. By then, any armed robber who has some brains will have come, will have a hit, will have gone back. So we want to be able to say, okay, when we reduce this, then whoever is out with us will meet us. There's somebody who was boasting that any Amotekun, you will just lose your life for nothing. Nothing will happen.
Don't let us say that.
No. I'm saying, if you say you will attack Amotekun in the night, we will treat you like an armed robber. You will just go and nothing will happen like that. The genuine Okada Riders are people are in the field now talking to them. They know why we have to do this. There has been no decision of the government taken that has not been communicated to them. Because as I've always been telling people, the government is not fighting against the people. We didn't have to do this before they brought NSAS. From NSAS, you started building,
Are you blaming the protesters of NSAS?
No, the protesters, as I told you, the protesters.
Okay, those who hijacked the protest.
The protesters achieved their aim. They came, police brutality. The government listened immediately and they acceded to their immediately. Even, they went around, throughout Nigeria. When they came to the governor's office, the governor came out, met them, spoke with them. So there was, in fact, in some instances, policemen even escorted them round until these are small boys who buy NSC, who smoke in their hemp, and until they became activists. And the next thing is, we could not even understand what was going on. A policeman who was walking on the road in Ondo town, you brought the guy out of his car and you armed him to death. That is NSAS. We later found out that those, that police arrested in the past, we're now going after those who arrested them, those who prosecuted them. And all of us, we jubilated. We say, hey, they were handing SARS. They went to police stations. They were burning police stations. Now, if you arrest anybody, where are you taking them to?
This directive, is it just in Akure or across the state?
Across the state. It's across the state.
Now, from what you've seen since Friday, that directive went into effect on Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay. What would you say about the level of compliance so far?
I say substantially, the people. It's because the people.
Because from what we have heard, we've heard that there are Okada Riders who still walk beyond.
No, you find these people who are recalcitrant, who want to test the will of the government. But again, we are not out to show that we are government. You know, when you are confronting the government, you know you are confronting the government now. If you are able to pick 1 or 2 or 3, then of course they will go. You go back home to explain to those who who escaped that it's not easy. So it's not about this. Of course, we have involved even traditional rulers. Let them know.
Okay, they were carried along as well.
Of course, they let them know. Of course, nobody is safe now. Nobody. Everywhere is open. Now, if the police are withdrawn, if they don't go to any police submission, will they guide any palace? You will have the palace guards. Politicians who feel that they are important, they are now empty, they are now naked. Everybody is walking alone. Nobody will guide you. We are slipping into a state of nature. In Ondo State, we are just lucky. When the governor brought the idea of Amotekun and he sold it to other southwestern state governors, people threw in politics. They say now Amotekun is now useful. But I'm saying that Amotekun is being distracted now because we are getting to December. People are moving in from Guinea to Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. They are coming to rob. Because they now know that Nigeria is so porous. Nigeria is a place where you just stroll in, kill their people, rob, collect money, then you go back. No trace. You now be analyzing the effects, causes and effects, and like that. So Amotekun is being distracted now. Instead of now deepening the operations of Amotekun at our borders, in the forest, we are now bringing them out to come and be policing Shagari, Gaga, and all of these places.
Okay, just a minute, Dr. Odebowale. We earlier this morning I spoke on the phone with the commandant of the Amotekun in Ondo State, that is Chief Adile. Let's quickly listen to him.
We are part of the enforcement. It's not solely for Amotekun. All the security agencies in the state has the responsibility of enforcing the laws of the land.
So how has it been since Friday? Because some of the things we're hearing is that some of the Okada Riders have not been following the directive.
Well, that is true to an extent. And we have to be a bit soft in enforcing it. In the first place, what informed this decision is the sudden upsurge of criminal activities within the state. And about 80% of all of such robberies, shooting, were traced to either from the same Okada, out of the same Okada, during the operation Okada. So that was why we said, okay, any Okada will now stay in the night. We'll have to explain. If it doesn't belong to the essential services, then we know they have questions to answer. Yesterday, for instance, at 5 o'clock, we went to 7 major junctions of Okada to enlighten them. We did public enlightenment on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. Then we started enforcement at 12 midnight in conjunction with other security agencies. We moved as a team.
From the statement put out by the government of last Friday, anybody who flouts that directive will have his motorcycle impounded. After impounding such, what then will happen thereafter? Is it that they will have to pay some before you give it back to them, or what?
I think the position of government is that they should be impounded first. It's now the responsibility of government to tell us what to do next. I think they might end up being fined.
Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Okay, that was the Amotekun co-commandant in Ondo State. You just listen to him, and it is safe to say that Dr. Odebowale, the Okada people, they are under your office. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, now.
I supervise.
Okay, so I ask a question. The governor said that both tinted vehicles that are without permit will be impounded. Same thing goes for Okada Riders, who will be on 6 p.m. Now, when these motorcycles are impounded, what is the process of retrieving the motorcycle? Will there be a sanction?
Let's even leave the issue of retrieval now. Why do you want to even flout? Let us restrict ourselves to why everybody must obey first. You know, as the security agencies are mopping up, as they are doing their mopping up operations, you see, we should assist them. We should not even be talking about how they will get there, where they will get.
But you agree with me that will certainly happen. Motorcycles will be impounded. And some of these guys will come to say they want to retrieve afterwards.
If it continues, we may crush.
And not give back to them.
We may crush and we may prosecute you. You see, we are talking about the security of lives and property now. You are an individual, you cannot be more than the state. Who are you? So because you want to make some quick bucks, you don't want to starve, we should now open the state so that people will just come in, then they shoot, they keep people like that and they move away. They move away like that. Will we allow that to happen? No, we cannot. I won't be discussing whether we release or whether we not release, whether fine. Anytime you talk about fine, you see more often than not that somebody somewhere wants to steal money or wants to, pervert justice. We are not interested in anything fine. Comply. You just add the commander of Motekuna that you cannot be on essential service. If you are indeed a nurse, you are coming from Alagbaka, you went to a nightclub, we will mess you up. But if you are a nurse and you are coming from the hospital, you are on duty. Of course, we are not mad.
Did government think about the impact of this directive on businesses, especially those that people who do their businesses in the evening, later in the evening? You mentioned nightclub.
We
and those who sell at night, like the street traders.
We've been through this before.
You know why I'm asking you that, Dr. Odebowale? You know why I'm asking you that? We've had COVID-19.
Yes.
That certainly affected the economy. And then after that, NSAS came up.
Yeah.
That in a way also affected the economy.
Yes.
And then with this new directive now,
yes.
Is government thinking that
this directive is not closing the economy? And it's not saying, cars don't move. It's saying that, look,
what about those who sell in the evening and who do not have means of getting back to
let them stay where they are selling until 6 a.m.
Let them sleep over.
Let them
street traders.
Let them do whatever they want to do. I'm sorry, people can, so because you want to sell, so people should come in and kill people. They should go in and be raping people and be asking them, bring out the food. No, please. Don't let us realize it is very serious. You want to sell, go and sell now. Nobody's saying you should not sell. They're not asking you not to sell. So when you sell now, the government should provide vehicles that will take you home.
Let me paint another scenario for you. I asked you a question earlier that government is trying to solve a security problem, and
yes.
that whether government did not in any way think that maybe through that we could be creating another security problem. Now, I mentioned the case of somebody who is coming, even if somebody on essential duty, who is coming in the evening.
The person will be left. Anybody on essential duty.
And let's say, for instance, a lady or a lady who will have to trek to where she's living at night alone. This could let that lady, they could be raped.
No, let that lady live wherever she is now and start going home.
And I leave work.
No, which work are you going to do beyond for if you are a civil servant?
I'm not saying civil servant. I said even if you are an essential duty and you are not mobile.
If you are on essential duty,
for instance, you are a journalist and you are not mobile.
Let your employer provide means of taking you around
to your doorstep.
It's an emergency now. They should do that. They should do that. If you are on essential duty, whoever believes that the services you are rendering are important should provide for you. If you are a nurse now and somebody need your attention in the hospital, let them send the ambulance. They get money, they get subventions for all to run all of these things. So nobody will blackmail the government. That if you are an essential duty, so-called, during COVID, we'll meet doctors. We say, we are on call. Okay. Then some of these Yahoo boys are in Alagbaka, they went to get stethoscope and we messed them up. We asked them to come down, sit on the ground.
How did you know they were not doctors?
Of course,
they have no ID card.
You see them. You a doctor. You know a Yahoo person. If you go out with us, you see all of these boys. You see all these. The greatest threat to our security in Ondo State now are these Yahoo boys. They are celebrating that the policemen are not around. Go to Alagbaka, go to Ijapo, go to all of these places at night. you will marvel at how parents have abdicated their responsibilities. You know, their children have been lost. They have been lost. Now people coming from Ibadan, coming from Edo, coming from Akure is safe for criminals now. That is their impression. They go to all of these hotels and they celebrate. So we will not allow you, Okada, to move freely. Yahoo, you tint your glass, we catch you, we will mess you up. We will mess you up. Then you are a big man. Your own car, no registration number. You will meet us on the road. You will meet us on the road. Whether you are too big, only the governor and the deputy governor are permitted to cover their plates. Then those who work in security services, once they identify themselves, you know. But every, inconsequential element you find around, you find them covering their plate numbers, using tinted glass. Where did they go to? Go to Alagbaka nightclub. Where? Ijapo. Where again? You see, this will stop. Even after normalcy returns, you cannot open your state for criminals as we have done. We are too lax here.
Dr. Odebowale, the problem of insecurity is not only in Ondo State.
No.
It's across the country.
But
my question to you is this. You know that all over the world, when you talk about development, you talk about even distribution of wealth, you talk about social inclusion. That have to do in a way with security. What other ways do you think the Ondo State government could go about this? Because you agree with me that unemployment has a lot to do with this as well. Where people are not employed, people who are idle hands who want to. So, what other measures would the Ondo State government put in place to, apart from the security, banning Okada or getting security men out on the street?
Well, you see, this is an interim measure, and of course,
I'm talking about the long term now.
You see, it's a process. It is a process. I would want to, I want us to advert our minds to the issue of real capacity building. That is what will solve the problem in the long term. Capacity building in the sense that, we pretend to be training engineers. We have faculties of engineering all over the country. Everywhere is a pretentious work site, but our children are not made to understudy these people who come to swindle us. They say they are contractors. That is a major failing on the part of all of us. Curriculum. Development is about the people. Development is measured in terms of how you interact with your natural environment. Then those who live in that environment, how they are able to tame nature, how they are able to, So you build capacity of those who are in this place to be able to confront the challenges we face as a people. We are not doing that, seriously speaking. We embark on certification.
What you've seen, you are in government, but what you've seen as an insider, not just in Ondo State, but even at the federal level, do you think that government is serious about doing that? The government is on the right path?
Well,
because every time that issues come up, the federal government will say, we're doing this, we're doing that.
We see there's a difference between having policies, sound policies, and having it implemented. Implementation of sound policies too is key. And who are these people? If you have those who don't even believe in what you are saying as a government, then you have a problem.
Whose fault is that? Who put them in office?
Then I'm saying that, the government cannot recruit from heaven. You recruit from the society, and you recruit from those who play politics. You have to be politically correct and you do this. But again, see, that is just by the way. If we are in this serious about building the capacity of our children, so that not all of them will now see Yahoo as the
way out,
as the only way out,
or get rich quicker,
like that. You see this Ishekikedo syndrome. You praying for miracle when you don't work. What you do has to start with the curriculum. Anybody who is over 20 now, we have almost lost. Why don't we just concentrate on our children and try to see what we teach them? We've been teaching our children alienation from their cradle until they become adults. So when they become adults, they are so alienated, they are so frustrated, they don't even understand anything about this society, and they feel that the government has done nothing for them, which will not be correct. To train a graduate in a university, the government pays a lot. A lot goes into the training of one graduate, but that graduate says nothing has been done for me because the person is disconnected between what he or she claims to have studied and the needs of the society. You see the person feels unwanted. You are not begging for a job. You are begging. It is scandalous. 40 million of your own children unemployed, even unemployable, not even unemployable. That is the crisis. We have to think about it seriously now. Then people are complaining about onions and tomato. They're getting expensive. I laugh. It means if you are unable to feed yourselves, if your children don't plant what you eat, if you are not the ones fixing your roads, let them make their mistakes and correct these mistakes, then you are just bringing up colonies of slaves.
Dr. Odebowale, because of our time, earlier this morning I spoke as well with a security expert, Mr. Abu Adams, and this is what he thinks about the Okada ban and all the security issues in Nigeria.
You see, we are in a country where we don't look at the implications of policies before we shun them out. And sometimes we think we are solving problems, but we'll be creating more problems. Like you have rightly said, apart from even the civil servants that need to go home, businessmen that need to go home after 6 o'clock and things like that, you will agree with me that when you ban Okada not to go out on after 6, that means you have banned all businesses even long before 6, because people must shut down to begin to run to their homes, or else they have no means of going home. You can imagine the economic loss at that level. Don't forget also that we are just coming out of these NSAS protests, and as a result of NSAS protests, police have not been forthcoming as they are supposed to be because of the fear of being attacked and being killed. You know how they killed policemen across the country during these protests, and they are off the road is justifiable. So because they have their own life to live to. So I think government should think of a way of empowering security agencies and the various components of security architecture, like the neighborhood watch, the vigilante, the Amotekums, to monitor criminal elements rather than banning Okada, because the negative impact of the ban is more than whatever benefit we think we are getting from the security point of view.
As a security expert, what other ways, apart from empowering the security architecture, what other ways do you think government can really ensure security? What other ways? Because while I'm asking you this question, I know that anywhere in the world that development and even distribution of wealth and inclusion have a thing to do with security.
See, I've said this several times, and both within this country and outside the country. Let us look at other nations. Any country that the unemployment is high, criminal activities are always on the high side. I mean, look at China. Their level of violent and criminal activities are not as much as they are in the third world, because there is so much. Until we are ready to do things, bring back the factories where people can work, bring back things that can engage people profitably, these criminal activities cannot go down. Look at the Boko Haram in the north. It is very prevalent in the north because of their level of education, very low. And so these are issues, but Nigerian politicians will never think about it. They will think about their pocket, their immediate family, the money that is supposed to be used for such things. How can you imagine the quantum of employment that will be generated, for instance, if we are producing all the petrol that we consume in Nigeria and export? If we are producing iron in Ajakuta, that we use in this country in the construction industry, but none of the political leaders from the beginning, from independence to today, has been able to do anything positive. So for me, we are just deceiving ourselves.
You've seen government policies at the federal level and at the state level Would you say that government is going in that direction of ensuring
They
that?
are not. There's nothing they are doing at the present to address the issue. There is nothing. I've not seen anything that they are doing that will bring back the textile industry in Kaduna, the textile factories in Kaduna, the ones in Zidado. I mean, all the factories in Okada in those days all have gone comatose. Nothing they are doing to bring them back. And as long as they are not doing anything to bring these factories back, I mean, these companies back for people to work, you are just running out educated people doing nothing. Criminal activities are not diminished. That's the truth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abu Adams. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you.
Okada Riders, I know you listened with rapt attention and you are itching to talk.
Yes.
Before we go, would you want to respond to that?
Yes, I just want to say that any country that promotes crass consumerism cannot make it. Production is key. But you see, the last speaker, contradicted himself, at some point when he said, the government, who is the government? The government should empower Amotekun to do more, to empower security agencies. We are saying that these security agencies are not forthcoming. We now have only Amotekun. That they are just coming out gradually. You don't throw money at problems. You have to identify the problems. What we have now is that of personnel. And we have to manage what we have. We cannot. If we want to be sincere with our people, we don't want to deceive them, we want to be politically correct. We want them to clap for us as we are allowing them to eat so that others can be killed. Comply with the directive now and and just for it's for a while. I want to quickly debunk what he said about politicians during the First Republic. He was mentioning textile industries. These textile industries were not put in place by the colonialists. The politicians who did that, political leaders. The industrial estates you had in Oregon, in Ikeja, by Obafemi Awolowo, he was a politician in the true sense of the word, not Ojelu. He was an Oshelu. Then go to any place. And do you have any difference between residential quarters and commercial quarters? There's nothing, because nothing works again. Even the civil servants who is supposed to ensure that talking about town planning, is collecting money and is misbehaving. Everywhere cannot be a shop. Buying and selling is not a sign of an economy that is thriving. No. Crass consumerism can only produce what? An agbero set of people. You cannot produce those who manufacture. No, it's a lie. You have to go back to the curriculum. You have to begin to train, to build the capacity of your children. Your children must plant what you eat first. That is.
But in the long run, Dr. Luade, do you agree that something should be done about the destruction of wealth in Nigeria?
Obviously, if you don't do it, look, NSAS just jolted some people. You now saw that it is possible for people to come into your house and bring you out and kill you. Something much worse will happen if you leave 40 million of your children confused as they are now. It's going to be difficult. Let nobody deceive you.
So you agree something has to give?
Something will give. Something. He mentioned China. You are talking about collectivization of labor. In China, nobody delivers seminars over agriculture, over banking, and all of these things. You misbehave, you are killed immediately. You have to collectivize labor. You must own the process. The people must know that you are working for them. Agriculture must not be about seminars, as we are doing in this country. Our children must know that unless they feed themselves, they are slaves. Then when they get that certificate, the diploma or the degree you give them, they should exude confidence enough to show you that, look, I am a problem solver. I'm going to solve problems in this area where I've been trained by the state. In the First Republic, our parents were sent abroad to go and study engineering, and they were on bond. They came back. They came to work in the ministries. They supervised Taylor Woodrow, Sole Bone, all of the Guvanti to fix these arrows. They designed. One man from Ekiti designed Bodija and Ikeja housing estates. After the coup of 1966, he went back to become a principal in a secondary school in Ekiti. You now have illiterates who said that I'm a professional politician. What's the meaning of that? So we should go back. Education.
Thank you very much, Dr. Doyin Odebowale, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State on special duties. Thank you for coming on the program. My name is Dimeji, and this is where we'll draw the curtain onto this edition of the Roundtable. Good afternoon, and thanks for listening.
Adaba 88.9 FM.
Yes, from January to December, níléeṣẹ́ rédíò Àdàbà ti ń wà sẹ́pẹ́ fún gbogbo àwọn oníbàárà tí wọ́n ń polówó ọjà lórí ẹ̀ tí wọn ò dẹ̀ já wọn kulẹ̀ rí. A tún ti dé bí ìṣe wa lọ́dọọdún wà yìí lórí àkànṣe